So in today's session, I'm going to look at several questions that deal with specifically partnership, and this topic is covered heavily. It's an important concept on the CPA exam. This is how the AI CPA tries to test your knowledge. So when they give you a question about the partnership, we all agree it's a major topic on the CPA exam. Actually, all topics are major, important, but certain topics are more heavily weighted. So if they give you a question about partnership, let's assume we have three types of questions: easy, medium, and difficult. And let's assume they gave you an easy question. You get it right. They may throw at you another medium question. If you get it right too, they might say, this individual, they know their partnership. Okay, and they may move on to another topic and stop testing you about partnership. Let's assume they give you an easy partnership question, like really obvious partnership question you should get right, and you got wrong. The system says, okay, this individual does not understand partnership. Let's give them another easy question or a medium question just to see if they answered that question by mistake or not. And if you answer that question incorrectly again, then they start to assume that you have a weakness in a major area, and now you're heading toward a grade below 75. So the point I'm trying to make is this: you need to understand your major topics, all topics, but especially your major topics like partnership. And the reason is because the test is adaptive. They know which topics you are struggling with, and they will bombard you with questions until they say, look, we're not going to pass this individual. This individual is not comfortable with a partnership or S corporation or the cash flow or leases or deferred taxes. Therefore, what you should do is, if you want to increase your knowledge, visit my website. I explain everything in details, in contrast to a CPA review course where they review the material with you. They assume you know it. I don't assume anything. That's the beauty of my website. Let's go ahead and dive into the first question to see how we would approach these questions and what should be on the lookout for. This partnership has sales revenue of $450,000. This is their sales revenue. And they had operating expenses of $350,000. Dividend revenue of $8,000. Charitable contribution of $6,000 and $12,000 of capital loss. Therefore, the partnership has a net income of $90,000. What is the partnership ordinary income for tax purposes? There's a lot of information in this question. So you have to have an understanding of several things before you can answer this question properly. First, we are dealing with a partnership. That's fine. They're giving us sales revenue, $450,000, operating expenses, $350,000. Then they're giving us other items. They're giving us other items such as dividend revenue of $8,000, charitable contribution of $6,000, and capital losses of $12,000. And they're giving us one more piece of information to confuse us more, is net income of $90,000. So they're asking us about the ordinary income for tax purposes. So you have to go through three different things in order to properly answer this question. Okay. So the first is, they're asking us specifically ordinary income for tax purposes. What does that mean? It means you have to know that the only thing that's going to be deducted on the 1065 on the partnership is the operating expenses, and the only revenue is the sales revenue. And this is why I highlighted them in yellow. So we're going to take 350 minus 450, and that's going to give us 100,000. Now you might be saying, hold on a second, didn't they say net income of 90,000? This net income, when we say net income, when we use this language, this is for financial accounting purposes. This is for GAAP purposes. If for GAAP purposes they had 90,000, there's a $10,000 difference somewhere. We cannot reconcile this difference here. They're not even asking us to do so. But the point is, they're trying to throw that number to confuse you. Therefore, your ordinary income is 100,000. So hold on a second. What do I do with the dividend revenue? What do I do with the charitable contribution? What do I do with the capital loss? If you don't know what you're doing with those, don't sit for the CPA exam yet. Those are separately stated items, and they're going to be allocated separately to the partners. So they're asking you about the ordinary income. The ordinary income that's going to be for tax purposes is 100,000. The blue ones are allocated separately stated items. So if you don't know those, yeah, I suggest don't sit for the exam yet. Otherwise, if you understand this question, I would say you have a good basic starting point for the exam. As I mentioned, all these topics I cover in details on my website.
Want to see more CPA exam multiple choice questions solved step by step? at farhatlectures.com, you will get hundreds of video solved MCQs step by step, including previously released AI CPA questions, previously released AI CPA simulation, in-depth lectures and resources to prepare for the CPA exam, AI tools that's going to help you study smarter, not harder, CPA exam podcast lessons where you can learn on the go. And also you will get the personal guidance of support of Farhat and his team. If you are serious about passing the CPA exam, this is your next step. Visit the website farhatlectures.com, start your free trial, and I hope to see you on the website.